to money.
All right.
All rise.
All rise. Khamzat is presiding or residing? Is the judge presiding or residing over the
I don't think it's residing.
Residing sounds wrong, but presiding doesn't even sound like a word. It sounds like I've heard it, but the more I say it, you know, when you say a word over and over again, it sounds weird, like box.
Or Khamzat.
Yeah, Khamzat, dude. Let's talk about Khamzat. I texted a friend of mine that I am afraid to be on the same planet as Khamzat. I'm very afraid. Is that Khamzat?
That is an unknown number, so that could very well be Khamzat.
Khamzat would know
Yeah.
that we're discussing him and call us.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Ali's watching.
Can you hear Khamzat over the phone? Do you think he's the type of person that you could hear over the phone? Or are you smashing your ear, pressing the phone up because you really can't hear him? Because he talks very low.
Yeah.
Serial killer.
He just like can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Kinda. So he can't even be bothered to raise the level of his voice. That's
Exactly.
how unbothered he is.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know why I smashed this
Yeah.
guy, you know? Like that's literally how
You ask him that, I don't know why you asked me.
the microphone is right here, like to his face, and somehow he still sounds like
he's a mile
there's no
away.
mic. It's amazing. But he was dominant.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even call that dominant. He was just because is it dominant? One punch knockout.
First punch. Yeah, that was.
He was perfect. That's the way I would put it. He was perfect. He just went out there and just won immediately.
Yeah. Instantly. Just
Gosh. Did you see that coming?
I did not see that coming. No, I thought that this guy was gonna get smashed on the ground again too. I wasn't sure. I thought he might wait for the striking debut until the Damian Maia fight. That's what I thought that kind of was because it doesn't seem like he wants to take Damian Maia. Well, he says what if he chokes him, but after seeing that fight, I can't imagine he goes and tries to fight Damian or grapple Damian Maia. I think he just goes in there and just knocks Damian Maia out. Damian Maia is not taking him down. Damian Maia's getting knocked out.
What? Are you serious?
What else is he gonna do? Call somebody?
That's not out of the question. And at this point, that should be allowed in the rules against Khamzat. You should be able to call
Connor?
Have
Connor come through a dolly.
Not a 2-on-1 like a tag team. Just tag a fresh guy in.
Handicap match, tag team handicap. Yeah.
A tag team versus the one.
One, yeah.
Why not?
Or just every other round you get a fresh body.
Yeah, do 5 rounds, and he has to win all 5 to win the fight.
Okay.
So if he loses 1 round, he loses the fight. Do you think Khamzat would take that? For all the money? $20 million?
Against who?
The 5 best fighters in the division. 1 round each. It's rough, right?
Yeah, no way.
I don't even know if...
He's not that good. He's not that good.
Dude, we're getting out of hand.
Yeah.
We're getting out of hand with Khamzat. Khamzat is having us saying things that, no... logical, rational person.
You just said, do you think he could beat the top 5 one after the other?
I thought it was a good question.
Usman, Burns, Colby, Masvidal, Leon Edwards. Could he take them all consecutively?
Now that I think about it, it doesn't make sense. But when I was saying it, the spirit of Dana White's wallet was flowing through my logic system. Speaking of being smashed and logic, no, I don't know if there was any logic in this. What the heck happened to Tyron Woodley? What happened to Tyron Woodley?
Yeah,
I'm sad.
I think this needed to be asked years ago at this point. Now, looking back, it's we've just seen this. I thought this was coming by the Wonder Boy and Maya fights, but then that Darren Till fight was oh my goodness, he's back. All right, cool. Like, he just had a few boring fights, and then he goes straight from the Darren Till fight where he just... Nobody does that to Darren Till. I mean, Masvidal knocked him out too, but... you know, like, he just ran through Darren Till, dropped him with the right hand, and then went on the ground and submitted him, you know? So it's
he looked like a pro against, like... He just looked
He looked like a champ against...
Yeah, like a champ. Like,
he made an elite guy just look like a contender. Like, he...
Do you think it was a combination of Darren Till pressing forward but not wrestling? So, forcing...
I think that's just Tyron Woodley showing up. Tyron Woodley's got these skills. Like, Tyron Woodley has the skills, you know, but I think even when you look at him, he doesn't look the same. Like, Tyron used to just have a little bit more of a freakishness to him, you know? I don't think he looks so freakish anymore.
Yeah, he kind of looks blown up a little.
Yeah, like, he just doesn't have that, like, same athleticism in there, you know? He's just not the same thing. And the guy is 38. And he's...
Oh, wow. I did not know he was 38 years old.
He's the same... He's like 1 year younger than GSP.
Oh, wow. He has been in the game a while. But I feel like it all ended in such a hurry.
Yeah, exactly. But he got the... You got to realize what it started with. It started with Usman coming in there and beating the brakes off of him. You know? So it's like after Usman went in there and really just, you know, broke his will, you know? Like, he survived against Usman, but... He's been just surviving for 15 rounds. We haven't seen in the past 15 rounds, which is crazy to say. 15 rounds is so much fight time. He hasn't been finished. Like the Colby fight, he got finished because his rib was broken in the 5th. But basically, he went 5 rounds with the 3 best guys in the world, but like hasn't been offensive
at all.
And how many minutes is that? 75 minutes almost, like 70 minutes at least, you know, because he was a little shy of it against Colby. But that's so much time to not collect 3 dominant minutes to win a round or something, you know, like he hasn't taken 1 round. And it's not to say, I'm not like Dana who's like, all right, Tyron needs to retire. I don't think that's necessarily the case. You know what I think? Nick Diaz and Tyron used to have beef back in the day in Strikeforce, but the fight never happened. What about Nick Diaz coming back against Tyron? Tyron's on his way out. Nick's trying to get back in. It's like, that's a perfect fight. Like, winner stays kind of deal. Winner has some fun fights lined up for him. But if Nick Diaz comes in and loses to Tyron Woodley, it's like, all right, get out of here, Nick. But if he wins, it's like, all right, yeah, Tyron wasn't on point, but it still looks good. It still looks good on a poster. It's still Nick Diaz versus Tyron Woodley sells. You know, I think that could be a really smart matchup for those guys.
Yeah, especially because of the styles too. You know, like Nick Diaz is gonna put it on you, but something about like his energy like forces the other person into the fight as well.
Yeah, because he's not putting it on you and you're like, oh my god, I'm about to get knocked out. You're just like getting overwhelmed, so you have to throw back and fight.
And sometimes in some fights, he's even like stopped what he's doing and said like...
Yeah, because he wants you to get tired. He's trying to pull it out of you too. He wants you to try and get in his game, because then once you get in, you get lost in it, and he's just going to drown you out in that deep water.
But I just don't know. Are you ready to get up again for another Woodley fight?
No. But I don't...
You don't think he should retire? So you got.
I'm saying I don't think he has to retire. I'm saying I think there's some scenarios that work. Here's another one I have for you. Him and Cowboy. Dana says after the card that both of them lose on, that both of them need to have a conversation about leaving. It's like, okay, they're in the same weight class. Let them fight. Loser goes home.
That's not bad. That's actually not bad at all.
And that's a good way to headline a card. Like,
Cowboy
loser leaves town. You know, like have it in Vegas. Loser leaves town.
That's so unfortunate for both of them.
Yeah, as a retirement fight. You can't do that.
Cowboy was
a former champ and the most winningest fighter in UFC history. You can't do that.
Cowboy was just at the height of his joy.
Cowboy would be down for that market.
Oh, yeah.
Cowboy would be like, oh yeah, I'll take my boots.
Hell yeah, man.
I'll ride my hog home. Yeah. Like, I'll let him win.
We're getting borderline racist. But he's white and so no one cares. Speaking of racism, everybody was mad at Colby after that fight.
What was the racist... was it just the Trump stance, or did he have like something he said in the post fight?
I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because
he said it.
Colby said it, and the way he says things always makes me laugh. I think what he said was that Usman communicates with his tribe via smoke signals. So, I guess that angered a lot of people because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But is it racist? No, let's break it down. Is it racist or is it more like ethnically ignorant? Because he's playing on not the black thing, but the African, specifically African thing.
Yeah.
So he's not really making a claim about like his blackness, but more so his culture, like his heritage.
Yeah.
So is it more like an what's the word? A culturally ignorant thing to say, or is it racist? I feel like it's not racist.
It's still in that, you know, you have like religion, culture, and like family.
Don't talk about it
over
stuff.
Here,
right?
So it's definitely he picked it from the forbidden shelf.
But is it the most benign thing to have picked?
I don't think it's the top shelf.
No way.
You know?
Yeah, it's not the top. I don't know. He can't reach the top shelf.
He was calling Usman's dad out, who's in jail on some like really skeptical stuff, and just like calling his dad like. Just saying his dad was like this terrible criminal, calling his dad a piece of shit, all this terrible stuff because his dad's in prison, and like saying that in the build up. So like, no, he'll go to the top shelf. Oh, he'll go
Didn't
there.
Didn't he call Ali a terrorist?
That was Connor.
No, Connor said he would like, didn't call him a terrorist. He like gave information that made us say, hold on a second.
Right, yeah. Like,
I think this guy's a terrorist.
Yeah.
We're like, wait a minute. And maybe his name being Ali Abdulaziz does not help some people's sentiments toward terrorism. They're probably like, damn it, I knew it. Yeah. And he can't be named Ali Abdulaziz and not be a terrorist. But I don't even think he was a terrorist. Wasn't he an FBI? Anyway, I don't know anything about that. All I know is that him and Colby met Trump, and I think Colby said something about him being a rat or, you know, an informant. That's what it was. He called him an informant.
Yeah.
When Colby says it, it's just so funny. But yeah, the smoke signals comment upset some fighters actually even. And I guess I could understand why it would be upsetting. But the reason that I don't necessarily think it was racist altogether is because Colby is definitely trying to play on.
I don't think racist is the term, but like I said, I think it's from that same, you know, department.
It's culturally demeaning. It's like
yeah.
And you know, if you call it racist, I'm not gonna be mad at you. I'm not gonna get into it.
It makes sense. Yeah, I get it.
I'm not gonna get it. I just don't think he wasn't showing his racial thoughts there. He was trying to be clever with Africa.
Right.
So that was his attempt to make a pun with African culture, what he perceives. So that's why I don't think it was like, for me, racism a lot also has to do with intent. Is someone trying to be racist when they say that? Or are they trying to conceal their racism when they say it? But if somebody's clearly fabricating something just to be clever, and you can see they're trying to play on the African thing, he's probably not being racist. He's just being Colby. Yeah. Like to get everyone talking and to piss off Usman and all this. Although I agree he probably should stay away from that. But then he wouldn't be Colby if he stayed away from it.
For sure, you can't tell. Yeah, it's like stay away from what? He's got to press into that at this point. Yeah, at this point he's already quadrupled down. It's like, what are you going to do now? You know, it's like he's so many layers deep. I think this new small team vibe could be good for him. But at the same time, you know, this is being a super high level critic, and I don't want to say this at all because he looked absolutely dominant and amazing. But he didn't look quite as dominant as he has against some guys. Yeah. Especially how Woodley's looked as of recent. You know, it's like Burns beat him up worse than Covington did.
I agree.
So, you know, it's like, did we see Colby looked great? 100% Colby looked great. I'm not, you know, taking away from his performance or saying that it wasn't impressive what he did to, you know, the third greatest welterweight of all time, Tyron Woodley. But did we see the best Colby Covington we've ever seen? Which I'm not sure we did. You know, maybe he tried out some things and layers to his game that are new, and you know, maybe that's why, whatever. But you know, I just don't know if we saw the absolute best of him. You know, which
I feel like is the best Colby has been in the loss. Somehow, the best we've seen of Colby was when he lost to Usman, because he was so, like, we saw something come out of him that we didn't see in any other fight.
RDA and Lawler, those performances were crazy, but at the same
Lawler was
sentence,
anticlimactic a little.
Yeah, I was gonna say at the same sentence, like both of those two guys aren't the Usmans,
right.
Masvidals, and Leon Edwardses of the world right now, you know. But yeah.
What is next for Colby? Because he dominated. He beat a guy who wanted to come in and win, and beat a guy that hated, despised Colby. Like, Tyron Woodley wanted to go in there and beat him and knock him out, he did. And Colby just denied him with his skill and his excellence. And now, Colby's climbing. You know, the fans are getting behind him a little bit. The UFC is going to start getting behind Colby big time.
Yeah.
He's getting calls from the president. There's something. The Colby train is back on the tracks.
Yeah,
that's how it feels.
Back on board. Everybody's back on board. I don't know. He's in a little bit of a touchy, or not touchy, just like a little bit of a log jam in a way, because he's got Masvidal on one hand that he's calling out, who has tentatively booked against Diaz, and then you have Usman, who he's calling out, who is on the books with Burns. So it's like you have him sitting here calling two guys out, and we don't really see anything happening with either of those, unless we see the Masvidal-Diaz fight fall through, which we have seen plenty of times Diaz fights fall through. So if they're still negotiating that, and Diaz, is notoriously hard to deal with, and so is Masvidal, they might just say, all right, screw it, we're ripping that agreement up. Here's Colby. You're fighting in December. That we could see something like that. But
there's something out there for Colby.
Well, he planted one little seed, and he's like, I'll even take that Khamzat kid.
No chance, bro. They're not going to do that.
Not yet.
Khamzat is going to fight
He beats Damian Maia in a couple weeks. He could fight Colby by the end of the year. If he beats Damian Maia in a couple weeks, they will book him against Colby next.
Bro, what if Khamzat goes out there and destroys...
He beats Khamzat, Colby, Usman, Israel, where does he go? What happens now?
Is Khamzat, is he trying to just take everything over? Because he could literally do it in 2 divisions.
So, take John Jones, John Jones, Khabib, have a baby, you got Khamzat.
No.
That's what you have.
I don't accept that.
John Jones.
That should not be legal. That should not be allowed.
Khabib, Khamzat.
Where does Joaquin Phoenix fit into all this?
As a spiritual advisor, an elder on his council.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So Joaquin Phoenix, that's the only thing that
he's just behind the curtain.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So Khamzat should not be allowed to fight for a living, but because he is, we're all enjoying it.
What I was thinking though, what if some small game, we throw him in there against a hog. All right, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Khamzat, the hog is durable. He finishes a hog in round 2.
Dude, hog is very durable though, and they can bite through bone.
Durable.
I don't know if he's not. Well, he would have to wrestle the hog. He
does the little mermaid leg thing.
Oh yeah.
So. Yeah.
We're gonna do a whole episode on animals that we think Khamzat could defeat.
Yeah, we're gonna bring in some animals, and we got a little bit of space in the studio here. So we're just gonna have a little backyard get down in here.
We'll fight them first,
right?
To then determine based on how we do, we'll then grade up and say, well, if we did this good, Khamzat, who's significantly worse than us, will do this.
Yeah.
So we'll go with that. So we've already talked about Tyron Woodley and Cowboy fighting, potentially, for the loser leaves town. Maybe they should retire, maybe they shouldn't. We've talked about Khamzat and Colby. All these incredible... Honestly, I was impressed by all the fights. Man,
that card.
My neck was breaking because I had the Miami Heat playing over here in Game 3. They lost. Thank God the game got away from them. So so I could just focus on 2 TVs.
Yeah.
I had the fights on my laptop, and then my Hurricanes were playing on the TV above me. So I'm already kind of looking up like this. I'm looking down, then I'm over here, and it's not like to the side. I have to turn my chair to look. I'm like this. I swear my neck was sore by the end of the night.
Wow.
It was ridiculous. I know the things that we have to deal with in this country. It's ridiculous.
Somebody should have been helping you.
I know some people don't have food, but I was having a strained neck from all the capitalistic media around me. And it was great. It was phenomenal. And every now and then I forgot that the fights were on because I had like something else up on my laptop, like Twitter. And I had a perfect record of every time I'm like, oh crap, the fights. I click it, the fight's just starting.
Wow.
Including Khamzat, which I did not want to miss. Thank God I did not miss.
I had the worst luck ever. So get this, my stream...
Did you fell asleep?
No, my stream was a little behind. So I'm like, all right, whatever. It's a little behind. I'm not going to fast forward. I'll just skip ahead once I hit commercials and stuff because it was an ESPN card. So, yeah, whatever. And then it stops and the stream crashes, so I have to restart it. And right when I restart it, I try and go back to where I was. And I rewind to... I was at the Johnny Walker fight, like right before the fight. And I rewind to Johnny Walker in the post-fight press conference. So I know he wins. And I'm like, oh, crap. And then
he was impressive.
He was impressive. We'll touch on that.
He got rocked though.
Yes, chicken legs. Like
rocked
every time he got touched. But anyway, so I then like try and adjust again, and I skipped ahead. I was like, all right, I'll go back to the Johnny Walker fight, and then I was like, no, you know what? I'm gonna go watch it now. So I then hit like back again, but when I hit back again, it stopped after fast forwarding a bit, and it was Khamzat standing on top of the cage. So I literally spoiled 2 fights in 30 seconds. So I knew the Johnny Walker and the Khamzat winners before the fights happened.
Bro, you had the worst night.
The worst night, bro.
Almost as bad as Gerald.
And those were like the 2 fights that I was the most excited for. Like the main and co-main of Sure, I was excited for reasons, but those were like the 2 like on the edge of your seat when is this thing gonna end?
Dang
and they both ended early and I missed them both. Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
It was brutal. I mean, I'm glad I got to talk about this though.
I texted you too. I said, oh my God.
Yeah.
And you had to have known I was talking about one of them.
Yeah. I was just lost.
But look, you've let it all out. Yeah. You're better for it now.
Yeah.
You're not gonna miss. Listen, I'll tell you what you're not gonna miss. You're not gonna miss Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa. You're not gonna miss that this Saturday. I am so excited for this fight, but something has rained on my parade. They're not really beefing. Did you see that?
I saw something different.
I did not like... We might disagree on this.
I think Izzy is still on go. I think we saw Paulo put his tail between his legs.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought that was... So you thought Izzy really was checking him.
Izzy was poking the bear. And
you think so?
I heard in an interview later that Izzy like went over there and... like started that. He could have avoided the situation, but Izzy kind of
how much of that is Izzy trying to make an awkward interaction with someone look more strategic?
For sure. But and the interaction, Izzy was poking. Izzy's like touches him first and he's like, oh, you look skinny, and he's like, skinny, no, Eileen, and Izzy's like, no, skinny, and does like this little thing he did to him, and like does this little sickly posture, and then Paulo's like, oh, never, bro, and yeah, but still, he's friendly, but he's picking on him. He is like, that's what he was doing. He was picking on Paulo Costa.
See, what I got was 2 guys like just defaulting to just being nice. You know what I'm saying? Just
I don't know, bro. I think
both of them seemed genuinely nice to each other in that moment. But then when Izzy said he was playing mind games with him, I'm like, shut up, Izzy.
Paulo started it friendly, and then Izzy was like, you look skinny, bro. And then he's like, no, lean, never skinny. And Izzy's like, no, skinny, bro.
I gotta see this.
Like, Izzy was definitely antagonizing him there.
I gotta see this again.
And Paulo just like, he just like pushes, like avoids the controversy both times. Yeah, just the run-in, right?
This is it right here.
Yep.
Okay, wow. We don't need that.
We don't. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're
this is gonna be the first time we have a video up.
Yeah, Jamie, pull that shit up. It's rendering.
Right,
Thanks, bro.
Let's get some audio for this though. MMA Crazy, courtesy of MMA Crazy.
I feel like the weight of the skinny. I look really never skinny. Stay skinny. Bye bye.
Nah,
I mean,
that was friendly. That was friendly, man. Look, here's the thing. He came up to him, shook hands.
Paulo reached his hand out, though.
Yeah, but he shook hands.
Paulo, though, Izzy made a good point. Paulo did say in his last press conference that he's not shaking hands with Izzy even after the fight.
Okay, so no, Paulo is definitely
shook his hands off rip.
Paulo is full of it. I'll give him that. I feel like the whole I'm gonna make him cry, man, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like is that scary. If I see you, I'll kill you.
For
definitely
sure.
not representative of how Paulo Costa feels towards Izzy. 100%. Now, in the actual fight, I think Costa does bring that energy in every fight. He wants to kill everybody, stylistically. But you could tell this whole little beef. I thought it was going to be so much more volatile. I thought it was going to be like Usman Masvidal, where it was you couldn't even have them near each other without a real threat of a brawl. But it looks like there's some showmanship going on.
Yeah, but it's weird because it was like Paulo's team that put that video out. So it's like, why would you put that out before the fight?
That was weird.
Yeah. But now it's like added a little like layer to it because now there's questions being asked about it. But still, and now that video's kind of gone like semi-viral within.
It has.
You know.
I was just disappointed because I always get really excited when there's like volatile feelings.
Yeah, because they've been screaming at each other and stuff. You know, like John Jones DC, if we saw like a little snippet of them like being semi-friendly backstage while they're calling each other all these vicious names on stage, it would have been like, oh crap.
Yeah, but I think Izzy did a good job as a showman in rewriting the narrative again by saying, I wanted to go check his energy and feel his pressure from his handshake.
Yeah.
I don't buy any of that. But I think it's excellent by Izzy.
Well, Paulo Costa said that he thinks Izzy was like mentally weak or something. Like he said something in his presser too afterwards.
That's why they released it. They thought, he was being friendly with us.
Yeah.
So Izzy's responding to that, I think, by saying, okay, I can't look like I was being friendly because the whole reason I went up to them was to not get that video of me walking away from them.
I listened to a video of Dan Hooker talking about it too, and he's like, that was Izzy being Izzy, bro. He's like, he just like picks on you, and he's like, and if you don't pick on him back, like, that's very telling. He's like, it was friendly jest at best though. It wasn't I don't know though, because the way they've been interacting, look what happened. Derek Brunson was calling Izzy skinny, and they were like beefing similar to the way
that was Derek Brunson like trying to sun him, and it didn't sound good. It sounded like
you too skinny, bro.
Yeah, it sounded. He didn't do it well. Paulo Costa has proven himself, and his whole vibe is different. Than
But for
Derek
Israel
Brunson
to call him skinny on fight week, I feel like is mind games because he did look small compared to Izzy. Like, so it's like when Izzy walks up to him and the first thing he says is like, "You look skinny, bro," and then he's like, "No, skinny."
But I'm sorry if you have this. It's clearly not as volatile as we thought because if it was,
for sure,
can't pat the person on the shoulder. Imagine Khabib and Conor. Hey, man, you're not happening. So they were building this up to be volatile. But now I think they're building it up to be more of a professional, competitive rivalry rather than, which I like. I like better even. I don't like the personal rivalries nearly as much as I like but like when Paulo was like, "I'm going to kill you, man." Like when he was saying all this stuff on Instagram because he made the comment about the Twin Towers. Remember Izzy made the comment about the Twin Towers going to drop him quicker than the Twin Towers. So Paulo Costa got offended by that, and the way he was talking was like he hated him. And now that's gone.
Yeah.
And that's less hate in the world is good. I'm by no means am I protesting less hate.
Yeah.
But I felt like we
the
were
ultimate casual.
but I felt like we were getting a product, and I was hyped for these interactions on fight week, and I assume they're gonna do a presser.
Yeah.
I was hyped for these interactions to be very explosive in an entertaining way.
I think they can turn it back up because
I agree.
I think they're gonna turn it back up. We're gonna see. I think because the videos that the UFC is gonna be playing are still gonna be them screaming at each other. And
they can talk about that interaction.
Yeah.
They can say, "Man, I called you skinny. You didn't do anything." Or
yeah, for sure.
All that stuff.
The whole presser is gonna reignite it, and the narrative will get to be told by both of them, and it's gonna be fun.
Can we talk about how the UFC pimped us with the Colby Covington Tyron Woodley presser? They released. I was so mad.
They have Tyron and Colby as the display image for the presser. The thumbnail is the two of them. It says their names. Then the presser comes. They're the only two not there.
Literally. And thank God.
And then the thumbnail later, once it was posted not live, the thumbnail was different. It was now all the people that were at the presser.
Yeah, they pimped us. They pimped us.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you, thank God for Cowboy and for Khamzat.
Yeah.
They carried that presser.
Yeah.
Kowboy always with the positive vibes.
Good vibes.
Cowboy and Khamzat had their little, Khamzat said his little things. He's
Cowboy.
So Khamzat thinks that it's a compliment to say, "I would like to smash you too, brother."
Yeah.
He said that to Cowboy.
Yeah, endearing.
That's endearing. That's the height of his love. His affection is I would like to smash you.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm afraid. I'm afraid for my safety. But you're gonna make a lot of money. Dude, you're on your way to a big payday.
I smashed this guy.
Don't mess it up.
No.
Just don't mess it up.
Yeah.
The podcast needs it. So let's talk this fight. This look. I don't care. We're going full casual. We're only talking about the main event.
All right.
I don't care.
All right.
Jan, Dominic Reyes is going to be a great fight stylistically.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care right now. Just don't care. I have been rekindled. My tap out shirt, just bleed mentality is here. And I just want to talk about Izzy and Costa because this is something out of a movie.
Give me a prediction on Reyes and Jan first. Let's at least give them.
Dude, I'm picking Jan. But in terms of why, it's just because I don't want Reyes to win.
Yeah.
Even though Reyes deserves to win because I thought he beat Jon.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm picking Jan. I feel like he's gonna finish him.
I think Reyes is gonna win, and I want Reyes to win, and I think Izzy's gonna beat Reyes and Jon Jones in 2021.
No. What?
Huh?
You can't. No, don't do that. Come back. You realize you just zoned out and said something, right?
What?
You said Izzy. I'm assuming you're referring when you say Izzy.
Israel
Adesanya.
Yeah.
First, you said that Dominic Reyes was going to defeat Jan.
Yes.
For the you remember that part? Good. Okay. You remember that. Yeah. Then you said that Izzy is going to beat Dominic Reyes. Israel Adesanya. Okay. It's going to be Dominic Reyes and then Jon Jones in 2021. In 1 year.
1 night?
1 year, you said.
Oh, okay.
That means
1 year, that's easy.
That means you have Jon Jones going to heavyweight, dominating, as we've said on this podcast before, because that's the thing, it's all on video.
Yeah.
We've said he's going to go and win the championship. So you have him winning the championship, and then coming back to light heavyweight.
Coming back.
To lose to Israel Adesanya.
And
Israel Adesanya is now the double champ. Is that...
I don't like to do this, but I think the only option he's gonna have coming off of a Khamzat loss is gonna be to beat Dominic Reyes and Jon Jones.
Wow. Come to think of it, you after Khamzat beats you for the belt, you got to change divisions. That division will be wide open.
Yeah.
So Khamzat's.
Look at Connor.
Yeah.
170, brother. Khabib, I'm out. But I mean, now Connor, what's he gonna do?
Well, the crazy thing is that there's so much left for Conor in terms of storylines. I think that Nate Diaz trilogy is going to happen, but the problem that I have with that Nate Diaz trilogy is that they're going to have to situate it, right? Because after Conor beats Khabib and Khamzat, he's going to need a good year off.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have Diaz just waiting for him, because he's definitely going to beat both of those guys consecutively. And after Conor beats Khabib and Khamzat, Dagestan is ending all of their MMA programs.
Wow.
So, what's your prediction for Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa?
I got Izzy.
You got Izzy winning?
Yes.
I don't know why I had to specify winning. What else would you have him doing?
Yeah.
Why?
I think Paulo Costa. This is bold, but not to say he doesn't have good grappling. I don't think his grappling is a level that controls a fight against Israel Adesanya. Izzy's a big elite athlete, world champion. His takedown defense and grappling is somewhat legitimate. So I think that Paulo Costa just doesn't have that pedigree to go in there and really give him problems in that regard. So I see this being primarily a kickboxing match, and Paulo really just going in there and doing what he's been saying and trying to knock him out. It's what we've seen in all of his fights. But we've also seen him get dropped by much lesser strikers. Not that Yoel and Uriah Hall are much lesser. I don't want to say it like that, but
they're not as crafty.
Right. And
well, I don't know. But they're not as crafty as Izzy.
In his last 2 fights, he's been dropped. Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
It's crazy how dominant everybody talks about him when in his last 2 fights he's been dropped.
And if you get dropped by Izzy,
that's the first.
That's information.
Of many drops.
Right.
Yeah. That's how it typically tends to go. Because as soon as you drop and get back up, there's going to be now different attacks. He's not going to just get stuck on something. Izzy is just. You see what he did to Brunson when he dropped him. He doesn't get excited. He still just starts to get even more creative and more flowy and open up with more possibilities once he has you hurt.
He is a surgeon.
Yeah, he's got so many tools. He's so creative. He's so just physically equipped to do use those techniques that he does have. And it's I really don't see how Paulo pulls this off. And the odds, Izzy's minus 170, but that's pretty good. I kind of want to put some money on Izzy at those odds, because I think that Izzy is I'm not going to say a lock, but
that's a good
close.
Bet. It's hard to bet against Izzy, though.
Yeah.
The guys he's beaten, the ways he's beaten them, it's hard to bet against him.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Power, if Costa lands a clean shot on Izzy and really hurts him, that changes everything. The fight could change in a couple punches. And so with Costa, you have that threat. The whole game is Costa going to touch him? That's right. The game. Because we know that if he doesn't touch him, Izzy, it's just now a battle of skill. And obviously, Izzy's going to win that. But if Costa's able to really hurt him in some way, can Izzy fight through that adversity against Costa? This isn't Kelvin Gastelum, who is smaller than you, who is more of a wrestler.
Yeah.
This is a guy who wants to throw punches.
Kelvin's success against Izzy was on really sneaky, crafty stuff. So that was high level stuff, things that he planned, had tactics. He threw his first head kick in 4.5 rounds or 4 rounds into the fight. He waited until Izzy thought he would never kick him high until he kicked him high. In that first round, he let Izzy frame on him, and then he framed off of Izzy's frame and then hit him with the left. He did some really high level stuff to drop Izzy and have success against Izzy. And
Costa's not doing that.
Yeah, and you watch Izzy in kickboxing fights, he's always running backwards against guys that are aggressive trying to come and knock him out. And he fought at heavyweight in kickboxing. So he's had guys bigger than Paulo Costa run downhill at him to try and knock him out because he's a skinny guy. And he would be able to run and use his footwork in a cage and they're talking about the small, or in a ring, I'm sorry, and they're talking about the small cage and saying that would have been a problem for him against Paulo Costa. The small cage is still a 25-foot cage, which is a pretty big cage.
With no corners. 25
feet, yeah, and an octagon is a lot of space. So Izzy's going to be fine. They're fighting in the 30-footer. So that being said, I just don't think early on Paul's going to really be able to do much. I think that Izzy's going to be chopping that calf. I think Izzy's going to be finding that jab. I think Izzy's going to be feinting. I think Izzy's going to be kicking. I think Izzy's going to be switching stances and just showing him so many things and slipping off his stuff and ripping. I think we see Paulo just get hit with some stuff that he's never been faced with at that level in the UFC. He's never... other than Yoel, which is just a unique fight. Yoel is not like the other guys in the upper echelon. Yoel is formidable for totally different reasons. So we've never seen him go against somebody in that top elite skill level. Not to say Yoel isn't in that, but he's not one of these technicians, like Whitaker, Adesanya, Till.
He also lost that fight, in my opinion.
Me too.
I think. So look, Costa. Here's the thing, though. Costa has that fight-changing power. He seems to be game. So with that being said, I'm picking Israel Adesanya to win this fight.
Yeah.
Echoing your sentiments. I understand the threat of power from Costa totally. It makes perfect sense. If he goes in there and really hurts Izzy, okay. But Izzy's been hurt in a fight. And regardless of you can compare the opponents like I did earlier. The point is he's been hurt in a fight and had to still come through and win the fight.
And here's one interjection is Paulo Costa hurts people. Paulo Costa does not knock people out. Kelvin Gastelum knocks people out. There are guys who, Kelvin Gastelum's a small middleweight. He knocks middleweights out dead. Paulo Costa doesn't have the boxing where he's knocking dudes out.
Right.
He's overwhelming them and breaking them with just power and punching through them and just hitting a punching bag a lot, and just dogging it out.
That Kelvin fight, I think was like the prequel for Adesanya to this type of fight.
Yeah.
Where it prepared him for a war in that fashion. Because there are a few people in the entire game, as Kelvin Gastelum. And he went to war with him. Yeah. And won. At the end of the day, one will was broken and it wasn't Adesanya's.
Yeah.
So Costa's not been in that kind of a firefight. Yoel was the closest thing. And I think he lost. So transitive property would suggest Israel Adesanya would take this fight.
And if you remember, he fought Yoel before. He was already beat Yoel and was the number one contender before Israel won the belt off of Rob.
Right.
So he's been on the shelf since then.
With coming back from an injury too.
Right.
So not only do you have coming back from an injury, Israel Adesanya at his highest in confidence after having challenged, fought, and gone away harmlessly or without any damage against Yoel. Izzy's on the top of the world, skyrocketing. Costa coming off an injury against the guy who clearly outskills him, out as far as technique. And it's going to be a kickboxing match. You'd be silly not to pick Izzy.
For sure.
But hey, man,
I'm surprised the odds are as close as they are.
It's a fight, though. You never know, right?
It's a fight.
You never know.
It's a fight. For a couple rounds, it's a real fight.
Yeah.
For a couple rounds, it's going to be real exciting. It's going to have you on the edge of your seat, no doubt. For the first couple rounds, stay tuned because Paulo is a beast, and you never know what you're going to see out of a guy like him who is young and that time off could have served him, but still at the end of the day, buckle up for those first couple rounds. But I just see, I think we're going to see another level of class in Izzy in this one, and it's going to be a reminder.
This might be revealing for a lot of the fan base as to how good Israel Adesanya is. Because I think a lot of people like Israel Adesanya because he's clever and he has his little things that he does outside of fighting, and he fights with the hands down and reminds you a little bit of Anderson in the way he fights. But the entire fan base, this is a good fight for Izzy to show off.
It looks like he almost just lost to Yoel, and now he's fighting Yoel 2.0 to the casual.
The guy who beat Yoel, so everybody's like, oh, this is the guy who beat Yoel. This guy's knocking everybody out. even though he's
look
not.
at him. Like,
yeah,
look at him.
In terms of just the physical comparison, like Izzy made a good point. It's like something out of a movie. It's this juiced up. Well, I don't know if he's juiced up. It's hard to assume he's not, but that's unfair. Maybe it could be acai, but he's a huge guy versus a guy who's very slender, very sleek, and it's like it really does look like a clash of this guy wants to come and destroy and smash and crush, and this guy just wants to finesse. You know what I'm saying? And pink, 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 and it's like. Oh, this is going to be a battle of two polarizing styles.
It's two different beliefs. It's like
two different beliefs. That's a good point.
Which one wins? You know, it's like Ben Askren, Damian Maia. You a wrestler, you a jiu-jitsu guy. Whoever wins this, like the outcome is emotional.
We already know how that went.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrestlers, but
yeah.
Once you take the guy down,
they see after the takedown.
Yeah, it doesn't stop there. And here's the thing: if you're fighting. And the guy goes on his back willingly, now you're really confused. Like, what am I supposed to do now?
The games have just begun.
He's letting me pin him. Oh, man. How about, speaking of rolling, let's do some fight corner roll.
Let's do it.
Why don't you give us our first trio?
So our first trio, we've got some masterminds of the game. We've got Faraz Zahabi out of TriStar, the man behind GSP, Rory McDonald. He's worked with a lot of other guys who've reached really high levels. You have Faraz Zahabi, John Kavanagh, the man behind Conor McGregor,
and Johnny Walker. No.
Yeah, both of those guys have been behind Johnny Walker in the past two camps.
Yeah, interesting.
So Faraz Zahabi, John Kavanagh, and Eugene Behrman, the head of City Kickboxing.
Shout out to this card coming up.
Yeah, Stylebender, Shane, Kai Kara France, Dan Hooker, Brad Riddell, all those guys. Alex Volkanovski, that's Eugene Behrman.
A bunch of them are fighting.
Yeah,
this Saturday.
4 of them. Shane, Kai Kara France, Brad Riddell, and Israel Adesanya are all fighting on the card at a City Kickboxing.
It's going to be a showing.
Yeah.
Hey, every time a team is fighting, I root for all of them.
Oh yeah, it's just so fun to jump on that team train. And
Agreed.
Just hope a team comes and runs through an
They're
event.
out of Auckland, right?
Auckland, New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun. So out of these 3, I'm gonna go first. Well, dude, it's so hard because Faraz and John Kavanagh both have people that you'd want to meet. So, like, because if you hang out with Faraz, you're going to meet Danaher, you're going to meet Henzo probably, right? Because you're going to meet GSP, and then that trickles into Gordon Ryan. But all of that put together, like, does it match with a Conor hangout? And could I even compete with Conor? Like, I don't even know if I feel like I would be so out of place hanging out with Conor. Like, we don't have anything in common.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want to hang out with Dylan Dennis. So I'm gonna corner Faraz.
Okay.
It's crazy because he's got the best jiu-jitsu on this trio.
Yeah.
But I'm cornering Faraz because here's the thing: I'm still gonna get to roll with him if I corner him.
Yeah.
Because
fight week you're gonna be
prepare.
Fight week you're getting a session or 2 in every day.
Yeah.
So
and imagine what it would be like to be coaching Faraz and him giving me the nuggets in between rounds.
Yeah.
Like him
he's like, okay, you see what I'm doing, Alex?
He's gonna be coaching me on how to coach him.
Yeah.
In between rounds. So I'm gonna corner him. I'm going to fight Eugene Behrman and die, I guess, because he's teaching all these guys.
Yeah.
So what does he know?
He still fights. He's got 48 pro MMA fights.
I'm worried about him. He'll beat me up. But I get to roll with John Kavanagh because John Kavanagh gave Conor his brown belt, right? So I think everybody's curious as to the level of jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
I don't think
he's the first black belt in Ireland, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
John Kavanagh's the first.
I don't think anybody knows about it, like how good his jiu-jitsu is. I don't think we have like something that has ever simulated that.
Yeah.
So I would just find out by rolling with him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna fight John Kavanagh. Because look, that means I get a press conference. You know Conor's gonna be there.
Yeah.
You know Conor.
That's his coach.
Like
he has to be there.
Conor's gonna be in on the press, the hype of this fight. So it's like, I just feel like that's the biggest money fight. You know, me versus John Kavanaugh, Conor McGregor in his corner. I just feel that's the money fight right there. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that. And I think it would just be fun. Just get in there and
I'm with it.
Talk trash against that team. You know, like a little Nick Diaz. I'll have the Diaz bros, and we'll just be rolling with the Diaz bros. And
throwing cans.
Yeah, a little gang war, some can toss.
I like that.
And then that's tough. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. All right, no, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm cornering Eugene because then I'm gonna get a behind the scenes look at that striking all week long, and then I'll go roll with Faraz. And still probably get to meet all the boys, you know, training at the gym, rolling with him, and I'll get to pull back the curtain on his jiu-jitsu, which is crazy.
Yeah, Faraz is like an incredible black belt.
Yeah.
I really would love to learn. Imagine like going to like a seminar of Faraz's. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, he has...
if he's ever in Florida, we gotta...
Definitely.
Gotta make that happen.
Definitely. So yeah,
that concludes yours.
That brings us to yours.
Well, the next one. So we got
You're
Ronald.
gonna put your name on it. The next one.
Right. We got Ronald McDonald, the King from Burger King, or Jared from Subway. You go first.
All right. I already know who you're cornering because I know how you get down, you sick bastard.
Listen, it's not my fault I like McChickens.
All right. I am, I meant Jared, by the way.
I know you.
Okay. I don't know who didn't get who there.
No. No, you were understood. I was trying to move away from it.
Yeah.
You brought me
so
back
I just brought you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, we gotta. This is tough. Because either way, you're co-signing on these. You got to co-sign one of them, basically.
No, but here's what you don't understand. I'm talking about Fat Jared. This is Jared from the past. Before he ate sandwiches every day and then got skinny. Yeah.
Before he...
Yeah.
The children. Before the children. That's what I was just like, you know, that's what I was... You know, the thing that I was thinking about was like the children, you know.
Okay, we're gonna for the first time ever, we're switching it. We're literally switching it. I can't do this. We're changing Jared.
Okay.
Well, you're the one who told me to do it.
So
we're changing it to Wendy. What is wrong with you? No, you told me to do it.
No, you just have to fight him at this point.
Oh yeah! What are we doing?
Yeah,
Jared.
No,
why am I? I don't have to type it. But why am I typing it? This is an audio and visual medium.
Yeah. So if you're listening, he was typing. We don't know why either. I don't know why.
I'm rattled. Okay, I'm rattled because I was trying to like just kind of mention it, move past it. No one asked questions, and you just immediately just brought up the children.
I was just raising awareness for the children.
You were not raising awareness
for the children.
You were trying to sabotage this podcast.
No,
that's exactly what you were doing. There's a reason you're in the red chair.
No, look. This I'm gonna just here. This is for the children. That's $10,
$10?
This is $10, folks, for the children, just to prove that like I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Here, you give that to the children. I
don't know any children to give that to.
You know Jared, so I know you can.
You take that dirty money away from me.
I'm
not taking that. I'm not accepting that money.
Oh my God.
I'm not accepting it. The kids are gonna have to get it some other way. Give it to them themselves.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll...
Ronald McDonald, the King from Burger King, or Jared. No, we're doing Jared still, right?
Yes.
I'll go first. I'm fighting Jared.
Okay.
There is no other answer.
Okay.
I'm beating up Jared
for
the despicable things he did.
Fine.
And also for making all of us think that a meatball sub was healthy. I'm going to roll with Ronald McDonald because, again, probably in the same realm of Jared. He's probably committed some hate crimes in his life. No one. There's no life in his eyes. No one dresses like that or looks like that who hasn't committed a crime.
For how many years?
I mean,
when has Ronald just showed up not dressed like that?
No, Ronald was that from the get-go, which is the real concerning part. You know, so we have to keep an eye on Ronald. There's some stories that are going to come out. I'm surprised he survived the Me Too movement, honestly. But no, Ronald is going to get triangled, and actually, I probably don't want to triangle Ronald. I'm going to choke Ronald. The King from BK is going to be who I corner because the King from BK is the ultimate underdog. Nobody gives Burger King its due respect. Burger King might have one of the best burgers in the Whopper of all fast food, and nobody gives it its respect. Wow. Why? Because all of the buildings look run down because they haven't modernized, they haven't changed their imaging. Once they change their imaging, it's going to be like Wendy's. Remember, Wendy's was down. Now Wendy's is like the hottest thing.
I think
Wendy's was down, bro.
Wendy's always
no. Wendy's was always fire. But there was a time there McDonald's was like, who's gonna compete with us? Wendy's, and then they redid all of their buildings. They changed all of their marketing.
I don't think Wendy's competes with McDonald's though.
I think it does.
Heck yeah. We can pull up the numbers. McDonald's does.
I don't care about the numbers.
I've already looked it up. McDonald's has like 56 million per location a year
in the U.S. Because you can't.
Everywhere.
No, you gotta include the U.S. only because
just U.S. Whatever.
Wendy's
they do like 56 million a location. Wendy's does like 36 or something, and Burger King does like 20 million or something. Like it's not even comparable. McDonald's like doubles every other place. You have to look up like how much does each store make.
2020 belongs to Wendy's. www.fool.com. Okay, but that has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I don't want to look at balance sheets.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm saying.
Here's
what I'm saying.
Let's not get too political here.
Yeah. We definitely don't want to be divisive.
Yeah.
But Wendy's for a time was down. I know. I remember this. It was a good year.
Yeah.
Where all the Wendy's were outdated.
You know what it was? They switched their fries up like 3 times in like 6 months. Yes. They figured it out again eventually, but they switched them up like 3 times and they messed it up. Yeah. So I think that's what it was.
But Wendy's is that fire, and I'm rocking. Yeah. But I think Burger King, if they do remarketing, look out. Look out. Burger King made a mistake changing their fries and moving away from their culture because they had a certain type of nugget and they wanted to have a nugget that was similar to McDonald's. So they changed their nuggets, and what happened? You went away from what worked, and now you're on your own. You're stranded. And so Burger King has to find themselves again.
They have fire hash browns, the little hash brown nugget things or whatever.
They have pies. Does no one talked about this? Does McDonald's have pies? These trash little pies that come in a cardboard box.
Oh, those little.
They're not even pies. Yeah, they're like little remotes of pastry.
Yeah, it is. Whereas, like a remote or like a toothpaste tube that has 2 ends with no cap.
Yeah, I don't like that. No. I disagree with that personally. But Burger King has full-on pies that you can open and eat with a fork, and we're just gonna sit here and be like, nah, Burger King sucks. I'm cornering Burger King. We're taking over fast food all 2021.
Wow.
So I lay down the gauntlet right then.
All right, I'm fighting Jared. Yeah, fighting Jared. And then I'm gonna corner, even though it's like satanic, I feel like I'm gonna corner McDonald's. You know, it's like it's the biggest one, so it's like at that point you might as well just like get the clout off it and then dip. You know, like Jordan, all the biggest athletes like did it. They hopped on the McDonald's sponsor and they dipped. You know, like it gets you to that level, and then after you get McDonald's on board, you can call Nike and stuff. You know, so like I got it. Ronald, like I'm not gonna be there for him for sure. Like Ronald is doing his own thing. Like I'm not going to get in the sauna with the dude. I'm not rolling with him. I'm gonna get. Is he wearing makeup? I'll get that all over me.
Don't get in the sauna with Ronald.
No way. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not doing none of that. You want me like right now, 2-day quarantine in the room with your fighter? Like
imagine you're sitting there with Ronald, 2-day quarantine.
Imagine just waking up and Ronald is right there.
He's just staring at you. He's sitting there. He doesn't sleep.
Or worse, he's just I was gonna say, or he's sleeping. How creepy would that be?
Yeah, like, sleeping Ronald McDonald.
Yeah,
I don't want to think about that.
No.
You're sacrificing yourself for the good of the. Yeah, that's good.
For the brand. So yeah.
Wait a minute. So you're You're rolling with the king?
I'm rolling with the king. I'm rolling with the king. What?
Joey,
what?
You've never been king of an entire kingdom. He is a king of an entire kingdom. He knows how to do some sort of combat. I'd be worried.
I mean...
Also, I think he's like 12 feet tall. I don't know. We've never gotten metrics on him, but...
We never have.
But I think he's like 12 foot. He's like a 12-footer. He's big.
He's submissive though, because he hands out crowns to everyone. You know, so it's like that's like virtue signaling. Like, what is that?
No king does that. No real king does that. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
What's your strategy rolling with him? Are you just trying to?
Baron Bolos. I'm rolling. I'm getting underneath. I'm going. You know, maybe some weird guards, X guard.
But are you trying to beat him, or are you trying to like have a mutually fun roll?
Oh, I'm trying to beat him. Okay. You know, I'm going to have fun until I beat him. I'm going to just throw stuff on and just overwhelm him and, just, you know, make him give me his crown or something. Like, he probably has a nicer crown.
Fight for the crown. Like a submission-only event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie Bravo could host that.
Think about it, though. You could get lucky. Have we ever... No, we've seen his whole body, right? Because I'm pretty sure I've only seen him from the torso up. Dude, he might only be a torso.
It might be Conor McGregor in the uniform.
Oh, that's a problem for
That's a problem. Well, we're rolling. So that's better.
Better. He's got a little bit of time on you.
Yeah.
But you have size on it.
I'm bigger, yeah. And, you know, I don't know.
This is becoming.
I've submitted brown belts, you know.
This is becoming a dream role for you.
Dream role.
Yeah, this worked out.
Me versus Conor McGregor dressed as the Burger King.
Dude, you were rolling with the Burger King guy, and then now you're rolling with Conor McGregor. Like your trajectory.
Yeah.
Like first you were with Burger King, now you're with Conor McGregor.
They're giving me like the Khamzat hype
train
trajectory in this week's Fight Corner roll. Hey.
Hey man, you have to take the opportunities as they come.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? You have to. These are once in a lifetime. You gotta just, when the doors open, you know, step through it and believe, conceive, achieve.
By the way, I'm gonna start promoting this from now. It's officially fall. Today was the first day of fall.
It feels like it.
Dude, it's beautiful outside, right? Our Halloween episode will be the greatest episode we've ever put out. And both of us, I repeat, both of us, not just me, will be in the spirit of Halloween. That's all I'll say. And I know that's like 4 weeks from now, but I feel like we should be promoting it and hyping it up and do something big on Halloween for our millions of watchers. You agree?
Yes. I think that it might be billions at this point.
That's a good point.
Across all the platforms.
Yeah.
And
because we're big on MySpace right now.
Very. Yeah. Very. We're gaining ground on multiple platforms. I've been putting out a lot of Vine content, shorter clips. So we're killing it on Vine. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week.